let's look at stone jar training. You actually see this sort of training with the Nigiri game of karate Hojo Undo. Of course, here we have stone gripper jars, heavier and more dense than the traditional jars, which were usually ceramic filled with, some sort of rice or some pellets that are heavy. Here I'm using lighter stone jars. You notice with the stone jar, you kind of can grip it around the neck, or you can grip it around the top. I'm just doing a little warm-up here. Shoulder warm-up is very important. These are just some rotations. And here we're doing a little bit of strike work with those lighter jars. That's a good warm-up. Now remember, with these items, whether you're gripping on the side or on the neck or on the top, you're getting grip work. So you're having to keep your fingers flexed isometrically to just perform the exercises. So this is your bigger stone jar. Here I am performing upright rows, just doing a few reps on each side for demonstration reasons. See that slight rotation really works the forearm. And the stabilizers in the hand. And here we have, basically from a fighting position, performing these shoulder movements. Of course, you can perform all three of your standard shoulder isolations, that is, to the front, to the side, and to the rear, anterior, lateral, and rear deltoids. And the stone jar I'm using now is a little bit heavier. It's not so heavy that it would be considered strength training for me, but strength endurance on the shoulders. But we definitely do have some heavier Nigiri game items here, and here is a heavier one. Real traditional shaped pottery shape, but again, it's all stone. These are all made with solid stone. So I'm doing some of the same shoulder exercises I did with the previous, but this is now a little bit heavier. It's also quite a wide top, so not only is it heavier, the grip is more difficult. Your fingers are more splayed out to the sides. And of course, when you're doing one stone jar at a time, you're having to stabilize the spine even more. So we're using this heavier Nigiri game, grabbing it by the neck, and I'm doing basically almost an Arnold curl. Meaning we're getting a rotation during a curl. So not only does it work the forearm radialis, you're getting bicep in there as well. And this is the more difficult version where instead of gripping it around the neck, I'm gripping it right at the top. Much more difficult. Requires a much more grip strength with your fingers on the top instead of the neck. But grabbing around the neck has that big advantage that you can do rotation movements. With your curls. Here's that more difficult version where the palm is going up. I'm having to rotate the forearm. So, yeah, a lot of grip work. This stuff is great for grapplers. Slight rotation with shoulder work. So if you're in a grappling system, judo, shui chao, chin-na, Japanese, Chinese systems, sumo, judo, I already said judo, sambo, catch wrestling, freestyle wrestling. So we're back on the shoulder movements. You can't see it very well, but I'm doing a palm up movement. And so the stone jar is actually upside down. This is much more difficult to stabilize the wrist and the fingers while performing that movement. So with the stone jars, we're talking mainly grip and shoulder work, of course. Not only is it strength endurance, but because of the continuous tension, we actually get a little bit of lactic acid work. Okay, so here's the big solid stone jar. I'm going to use two hands to do this squat movement, so we're getting a full leg workout. Notice I have my legs a little bit wide and my feet pointed outward. That helps activate the glutes in the movement. You should be activating the glutes with your squat. Here's a very difficult isometric grip. Here I am straining just to keep it up, and then I must let it go back to the ground so it doesn't fall. So really, really good grip work with this. And that was with my weaker hand. Yeah, the stone jar, Nigiri Game. Thanks for tuning in.